So for the past few days, I've been really struggling trying to figure out what movie I wanted to do a video on. And in all honesty, not a single thing has caught my interest or piqued my curiosity in the slightest bit. But what has caught my interest is all the news of all the new things that will be coming out later on this year. And sure, I've already done this video before, but it seems like every day they're announcing more and more shit coming down the pipeline. So I figured, fuck it, I had fun with the first one, and at least this time I have a little bit of practice under my belt, so maybe it won't turn out to be so janky. But with that being said, here's the future failures of 2024 Part 2.
Bring it on, baby!
So first on this list is Strong Female Character, the movie. Sorry, I meant to say Furiosa, Mad Max Saga. My bad. This is a prequel story about Furiosa, Max's travel companion from Fury Road. You remember her, don't you? No, not that traveling companion. No, not that one. Jesus Christ, what is this, a fucking traveling harem? Holy shit, the one with the shaved head. Oh, for fuck's sake. There it is, that's the one. Now, if you don't, it's fine. No one's given a shit about this character in almost 10 years, back when that movie actually came out. But from what I gather, the story's about her growing up in the only green place in all of post-apocalyptic Australia, with nothing but women, and it's a paradise and everything's wonderful. But then the men came along and took her from her family and killed them or something, I don't fucking know. But for some reason, they don't just kill her or put her into slavery, she becomes one of them, and she vows to one day get vengeance for her family. Fucking rad. I'm sure this won't be fucking stupid. Now, what would have made more sense is if this movie came out maybe 7 years ago, when people actually still remember Furiosa, but no, they decided to do it now for some fucking reason. You know why they put a Mad Max Saga on the title? Is just so you could remember what the fuck this movie is from. And just watch the trailer, she looks like a complete plank of wood. Why does every strong female have to be this stoic, boring, emotionless fucking block? If there's any silver lining, at least Chris Hemsworth gets to use his actual accent for once. I'm sure it'll be great. Up next is a movie that got immediately destroyed as soon as the trailer dropped. It's a remake of the 1994 cult classic The Crow, a movie based on a comic book series of the same name. The story is about a guy named Eric Draven. He's a rock star and he's hanging out in his apartment one day with his girlfriend when a group of dudes breaks in, rapes and murders his girlfriend before killing him in turn. Now, after his death, he gets brought back to life by the Crow, giving him these superhuman abilities, including the ability to never die until he gets vengeance for his girlfriend's murder. Now, for those of you who are unaware, the reason why remaking this movie pissed off so many people was because The Crow was Bruce Lee's son's last movie. His name was Brandon Lee, and he was killed during a tragic accident where he was actually shot in the chest. He died right there on the set. Now, it was incredibly tragic because the poor dude thought that this movie was going to be his breakout performance that was going to give him his own name and separate him from his dad. Now, aside from fucking that, what really pisses people off is the way they made him look. He looks fucking stupid. I can't describe this any way better than just calling him an edgy fuckboy. Now, don't get me wrong, I know the 90s version was a little cringy with the leather pants and the fucking face paint, but he was a rock star. It made fucking sense. I don't know what the hell's happening here. Like, he looks like one of the Island Boys just decided to say fuck it and write a hardcore album. I just want to know, which of you brainless fucking monkeys decided that this was a good idea? Like, what the fuck did you do? Did you watch Suicide Squad and decide that Jared Leto's Joker was going to be the image of appeal you want to use? You fucking idiot. Up next is Bad Boys Ride or Die, the fourth installment to a series of movies that are basically the same fucking thing, starring two actors whose careers have been completely destroyed and they're desperately trying to cling on to some sort of fame that they no longer have. Like, for fuck's sake, when was the last time anyone gave a shit about Martin Lawrence? And Will Smith, he fucked up his entire career by smacking Chris Rock a couple years ago.
I'm trying not to think of myself as a piece of shit.
Nobody wants this movie. Nobody. Maybe the fucking dipshits in the Fast and the Furious crowd, but that's about it. That's all you're gonna get. Fucking enjoy. Up next on the list is the movie Twisters, which according to IMDb is neither a remake or a sequel to the original Twister. Instead, what it calls it is an updated version. Now, if you're wondering what the fuck that means, just like I was, watch the trailer. It basically means it's the same fucking movie, except this time, everything is amped the fuck up for modern audiences. So because this is made for modern audiences, you can't just have a regular action scene. We need to amp things way the fuck up. So let's do the same movie, except this time we need more fire, we need more chaos, more explosions. Fuck it, let's make one giant super tornado. I kid you not, they took the idea from the first Twister where the tornado splits into two to make it more dangerous and exciting, and instead there's already two and they combine into one giant super tornado.
Are you seeing this?
We got twins! Twins!
They're combining.
Fucking stupid. Now again, this is one of those movies where I can't help but ask, who the fuck asked for this? Seriously, can you just leave classic movies alone? Leave them where they are, where they were made by talented people. Get your sweaty, butterfinger-covered mongoloid hands off of these movies. You stupid fuck. Up next is Borderlands, a movie based on a video game franchise that's been running for over 15 years with 7 titles under its belt, none of which have been good since the second one, which came out in 2012. I don't give a fuck what you say, I haven't had any respect for the series ever since they decided to get sensitive and do away with the word midget. But there's 2 major problems we could already see with this movie. First being that it looks like they had no idea what the fuck they were doing with this storyline. They just took random shit and random characters out of every game and just fucking mishmashed them into one piece. But at least with that, there's still the chance that you can make some sort of coherent story using the different elements from all the different games. Sure, fine, fuck it, do it. But where this thing goes severely off the rails is their casting choice. I probably have never seen casting this shitty ever. You got Tiny Man Kevin Hart, known for basically just playing himself in every single role he's in, and he's supposed to be Roland, the stoic badass soldier. You got fucking Cate Blanchett, a woman who's in her mid-50s, playing Lilith, the 30-year-old siren. I think that's how old she is. Either way, you're not gonna fucking sell me on those action scenes. Then we have 65-year-old Jamie Lee Curtis playing Tannis, which makes no fucking sense. But in all fairness, she is the only person in this movie that actually played the Borderlands games, which is just fucking insane, and that's awesome. But they absolutely could have gave her a different role, because that just makes no fucking sense. She is too goddamn old. You got Ariana Greenblatt, who, in all fairness, is a decent actor, especially for being a kid, but she's no fucking Tiny Tina. Tiny Tina's supposed to be chaotic and fucking unhinged. This kid just sounds like a bratty little cunt.
I don't want to! Roll the window up!
And of course, because Kevin Hart is here, Jack Black had to be signed on because those two seem to be inseparable for some fucking reason. I guess they just want to continue to annoy everybody simultaneously with every single movie they do. But he's playing Claptrap, a notorious character for just being annoying in general, so I guess that role actually kind of fits. All I know is from what I've seen and what I've heard, all actual Borderlands fans are fucking nervous on this one. Then unfortunately we have Alien Romulus, clearly an act of desperation by Ridley Scott, who's done nothing but piss on his own legacy in recent years. Now at first glance, the teaser trailer doesn't look that bad. It reminds me a lot of the first Alien movie. It's got that eerie, claustrophobic atmosphere. It looks like it's being done on practical sets with practical effects. And then all of a sudden, it kind of clicked in my head, and I was like, this is the first fucking movie again. Except this time, they're just amping everything up to fucking 11, because again, for modern audiences, you can't just be subtle with shit. Everything has to be more aliens, more explosions, more violence. Fuck it, let's just add 500 facehuggers and then that'll make it better.
Run.
Shit, even the main chick just looks like a frumpy discount bargain bin version of Ripley. Ever since Alien 3, this entire series has been off the fucking rails. And with the addition of Prometheus and Covenant, this thing was completely fucked. So in an act of desperation, trying to fix the franchise that he created, he decides, fuck it. Let's just redo the first one again, except make it more extreme. The motherfucker's even going far enough to bring back the writers of the first 2 movies. Then he's got Fede Alvarez directing this thing, and the only thing noteworthy that guy's ever made was Don't Breathe, and that was what, like fucking 15 years ago? I have no fucking hope for this movie. Everyone's gonna watch it with their nostalgia glasses on, and then it'll be just like The Force Awakens all over again. After about a week, you'll realize, that was the same fucking movie! And we still have Gladiator 2 coming out. I haven't forgot about that, Ridley Scott. Now, I know I'm going to get a lot of shit for this one, but I honestly don't give a fuck. But Beetlejuice 2 is going to be a piece of shit. And I'm sure you're wondering, why would I say that? The first one was amazing. And it was amazing. Not going to deny that. I fucking love that movie. However, it's been over 30 years since that movie came out. Have you seen any of Tim Burton's movies recently? That dude doesn't have a single bit of the creative genius that he used to have. And genius might be stretching it a little bit, but I love a lot of his old stuff. And if you watch the trailer for this thing, it's basically them just going, hey, do you remember the bridge? Hey, do you remember this song? Hey, do you remember these people?
Daylight come and we want to go.
We get it. You have no idea what the fuck you're doing with this movie. You just want to put all the things in it that everyone remembers just so it could get attention, and then you'll be like, oh, see, they love this. That's why I assume you put Jenna Ortega in it, just so that you can get all the girls who are not like other girls to coom in their pants because they're so fucking obsessed with her because she's just so fucking cool. The original Beetlejuice had a certain charm to it, with the ridiculous practical effects and the ridiculous over-the-top acting, the plot. All of it was just insanity. And that's what made it so fucking cool. This one, however, guarantee you it's going to be ridiculously packed with CGI, just like Dumbo was, just like Alice in Wonderland was. Tim Burton basically jerks off to the idea of having a blown out fucking CGI budget. It's just not going to be good. It's just all about praying for you to remember all the things that were good about the first one. Speaking of things that'll get me in trouble on the internet, Wicked's getting a live action remake.
I'm not afraid. It's the wizard who should be afraid of me.
Oh my God!
Yes, Wicked, the fucking Broadway musical that's a prequel to The Wizard of Oz, all about how the evil witch actually was never evil in the first place. It was the evil man's fault who made her out to be evil. I'm amazed this hasn't been done sooner. With all these lazy-ass cunts who consider themselves writers, all of it's laid out right there with all the modern tropes. I guess that's why they went with one writer who had some mild success with TV shows in the 90s and early 2000s, and then another writer who has one writing credit to his name from 22 fucking years ago on one episode of a Disney show.
We got ourselves a writer here! Hey, Dad, I can't see real good. Is that Bill Shakespeare over there?
Because it doesn't matter. They don't have to do a goddamn thing. And just to add to the fun on this one, they are going balls deep with the fucking DEI checkboxes. In the trailer alone, you can see there's a black woman as the misunderstood villain. You got Ariana Grande, who I guess is close enough to be considered Spanish. Every white dude who isn't wearing a dress is evil, and they're actually the cause of all the problems. And just to really drive this shit home, we got a random chick in a wheelchair, we got dudes in skirts, the random gay Asian friend, the random obese woman friend, and then the Asian chick that's in charge of everything. They are fucking nailing it. And fuck me, if you listen closely, you could practically hear the executives of the company just jerking each other off for how fucking inclusive and brave they are. Now, just to be clear, I have zero problem with fucking diversity. In fact, I grew up in the goddamn 90s and everything was pretty diverse my entire life. But when you're blatantly hiring people just because of their skin tone, their gender identity, or what they're putting their dick in, then it kind of gets a little obvious, and it's really fucking annoying because we know you're not doing it for their talent. Now, with all that stuff aside, it just looks like a CGI fucking nightmare. Completely over the top, fucking oversaturated. Like, you watch this long enough, you're gonna get a migraine, or you're just gonna have a fucking aneurysm. Now the only question I really have is if this is gonna be any worse than that monstrosity Cats that came out a few years ago. You remember the game Titanfall? Remember how cool that was? Getting in the giant mech suits and fucking shit up? Wouldn't that make a cool movie? I would think so. But what if we did that, but it has washed up 54-year-old Jennifer Lopez saving the world? No, that sounds like a fucking stupid idea. This movie's called Atlas, and it's all about an AI program that apparently goes renegade and decides it needs to kill all of humanity. So for some fucking reason, washed up Jennifer Lopez is going to get into a mech suit and try to take him down all by herself. Now, I'm not sure how familiar you are with J-Lo, but she's kind of a cunt. Nobody gives a shit about her anymore. She hasn't done anything important in what, like 15 years?
Jennifer Lopez.
Who's Jennifer Lopez?
Me. I used to live here.
And the thought of her as an action hero saving the world is just absurd, especially when you have amazing acting skills like this.
If you really want to try to capture Harlan, you need me on that mission.
I don't know who the fuck thought this was a good idea, but you need some fucking help, buddy. So last on this list, because we're going with the theme apparently, is Beverly Hills Cop 4, another movie about a washed-up comedic actor who no one's given a shit about in maybe 15, 20 years. What was the last thing anyone gave a fuck about? Shrek? Because we know he had to milk that shit 4 more times. And this is another movie just like half this fucking list. It's just another sequel of, hey, remember all these things from the previous movies? Well, we're bringing it back and you're gonna fucking love it. They even brought back the gay guy from the first movie just to put him in there.
Get the fuck out of here. No, I cannot. It's serious.
Oh, that's amazing. I don't know what it is with this fucking year. All these talentless shitheads are deciding they're gonna make these reunions and comebacks. It's not gonna fucking happen. Eddie Murphy, I'm sorry, dude. Your time's over. You were great in the 80s, great in the 90s. That was it. Let it go. So I was fully planning on ending the video here, but there was just one more thing I couldn't possibly let slip through my fucking grasp, and it's brought to you by Star Wars. Star Wars is releasing a new series on Disney Plus. This time it is called The Acolyte. Now, I'm not entirely sure what the fuck this show is even about, but from what I can gather, it takes place 100 years or so before The Phantom Menace, and it's all about the evil person in the show, and we're supposed to feel bad for them, and they're actually misunderstood, and maybe there's just more to it than it seems. Holy fuck you doing the same shit every time. Now I'm gonna make this abundantly clear. Star Wars is fucking dead. It's been dead since 2012 when George Lucas decided to sell it to Disney and just say fuck his entire legacy. Now if you want to know why it's so fucking bad, it's because we have people like this fucking troglodyte. Her name is Leslie Headland, who just so happens to be Harvey Weinstein's former assistant, but we don't talk about that. But this fucking ham sandwich of a human being has admitted multiple times that she likes to write all of her stories based around her life and all of her struggles and everything to do with her. So apparently this is going to be queer focused because apparently that fucking matters. And she's even admitted to using her own personal fan fiction to fill out the story because she wants to make herself feel better or something, I guess. Star Wars isn't even a story anymore. It used to be about fathers and sons, good versus evil, the right and wrongs in the world. It was amazing. It's not about Star Wars anymore. Now it's all about ideology. They just use Star Wars as a fucking skin so that people could get close and comfortable, and then they just punch you in the dick repeatedly trying to get their fucking point across.
Oh my god. Oh, dick quit!
Now I want to make myself perfectly clear. If you want to make a movie about whatever ideological or political bullshit you feel so passionately about, go ahead and make it. I fully support you. Have a fucking ball. But what pisses me off, and probably the vast majority of people out there in the world, is when you decide to make a movie, let's say it's about, I don't know, 3 dudes blowing each other, and you don't tell anybody that it's about 3 dudes blowing each other. Instead, you decide that it's going to be about Star Wars, and then you watch the movie, and hey, it's 3 dudes blowing each other, but they have lightsabers in their hands, and they're yelling about the patriarchy. We're going to be a little pissed. This is what ruins movies nowadays. Get your bullshit out of these movies, especially long existing IPs such as Star Wars, Indiana Jones, anything Disney related, all that shit. Get it the fuck out of there. Go make your shit somewhere else. Now, I know this is probably really hard for all you executives and directors and writers to wrap your heads around, probably because your heads are so far stuck up your own assholes that you can't even breathe. But we don't enjoy this. We don't give a fuck about what you want to talk about. We want to see Star Wars. We want to see Indiana Jones. We don't give a fuck about your political bullshit.
Put a chick in it. Make her gay.
Maybe we should go a different route than we did with Indiana Jones.
Fuck Indiana Jones. Put a chick in it and make her name it gay.
Sure, yeah. Well, let's try that. Again.
So just like the sequel trilogy, Ahsoka, Obi-Wan Kenobi, The Book of Boba Fett, The Mandalorian, this show is gonna be a fucking failure. And I cannot wait to watch that shit happen. And they dragged poor Daphne Keane into this. She went from being in Logan, one of the greatest superhero movies ever made, to looking like every gender studies major graduate in Southern California. Go fuck yourself, Lucasfilm. So that's it. That's all I got for this one. I see a gratuitous amount of alcohol abuse in my future. Something's gotta help me cope with this. If you enjoyed watching this video, feel free to like and subscribe. Leave a comment below if there's something you want me to check out and do a video on. Like always, I appreciate all the support, and I appreciate the hell out of every one of you guys. Thank you for watching. See you on the next one.